We saw Venom.
Why do you guys hate it?
Okay, your initial thoughts, right? Walking out of the theater, what do you think?
It was really funny.
Yeah.
The dude was cool.
What dude?
The other Venom dude. The one where he's all like, "Achoo."
Oh yeah, the evil one, right?
The more evil than the evil.
Yeah, the more evil than evil Venom. Riot, I believe they called him.
Yes.
I don't know. Is this spoilers? Do people know about that? They got to know about that, right? I think people know about that. Oh well, if we slipped, then sorry, spoilers.
Just watch the movie before you watch this. Okay.
So okay, it was. My thoughts are fun. It was a lot of fun.
I could barely see what was happening though, because we were kind of close and it was kind of really big, so I barely saw what was happening. Like at one point, all I could see was orange and yellow and punching each other in the face.
Well, there tends to be a thing with like newer movies these days where there's so much action going on.
You don't know what's happening.
Like it's so blurry, and you're like, okay. Like I want to slow it down and like actually see if they put stuff in there because it was so crazy fast. But I thought it was a lot of fun. I mean, they couldn't make it rated R because, I mean, they could, but...
I mean, it does say the F word in it, like, once.
They almost say it a couple times, but, yeah, they tend to get away with that. There's some
once.
swears. Lots of S-H-I-T's. But it was fun.
Poop.
The Venom himself looked freaking sweet.
I know, he looks amazing. I mean, it's pretty simple design, but it's still really cool.
And if you're doing it without Spider-Man, I mean, I think that's like they did a good job of how I do it. Like it didn't take away from it for me, and I'm totally like the original story with Venom has, you know, Spider-Man wore the black costume first. He's the one who bonded with the symbiote, and then it got off him and went on to Eddie Brock. And Eddie Brock's whole thing was he hated Spider-Man because he made him lose his job. So they have like they don't have Spider-Man.
But now he just lost his job because he was being a complete abomination of a jerkwad to somebody.
Not really though. He was going in there and he was like
according to that man.
He was trying to do his job and he did his job well. He was a reporter. He did say he used to be from New York. So he went from New York and he had moved to San Francisco, so that's where they are. I don't know, it's fun. Like Tom Hardy, I think, did a really good job. Mm-hmm. He looked kind of smelly through most of the movie, though.
Well, because he was kind of homeless, kind of not.
Something.
He was poor, okay?
Well, he lost his job. That's what happens.
Stinky apartment.
But
with the loud neighbor with the guitar.
Yep. I thought it went at I wanted to see Venom like immediately, but I think that the way they made him get introduced, like it had to take its time. It's the origin of him, right?
Yeah, I understand that it's like not the pretty much like original story, but that's I mean it's kind of a stupid reason to hate it. I mean it's something new and fresh.
And really, in all honesty, it had a lot of callbacks to like the original story. Kind of, I don't know. It worked for me.
Stan Lee in it, though.
Stan Lee did make his way in there.
I thought he wouldn't because it's not like a Marvel movie. It's just associated.
No, it's a Marvel movie. It's
associated with Marvel.
Well, no, it's a Marvel movie. He's been in some Spider-Man movies and stuff like that before that weren't from the MCU. So he makes his cameos wherever he can, and he's been in. I think he's been in some X-Men stuff. I don't remember. It's been so long since I've seen those.
I don't know. Didn't he like create that, so he deserves to be in it?
I mean, exactly. They're always like, "Hey, Stan Lee, get in here." Okay. But overall, I think it was pretty cool. I think you know there wasn't a lot of there wasn't no blood or anything crazy like that. But
I mean, there was like some, but not that much.
Like when he got thrown off the motorcycle and his whole body got
that part
mangled.
Was funny, like right, the sentence he said like right before that. I can't remember exactly what he said though.
But then like Venom, you know, of course, fixes him and stuff, and it's almost a love story between him and Venom.
I know, it's a love-hate relationship.
Like at first, like Venom, you know, just wants to use him for his body, which is typical in relationships these days. Just using them for their bodies.
Like, oh, you're skinny. Want to get married?
So they used him. He used him because he's strong, you know. But he ended up like kind of falling into it with him. And there was some pretty funny banter between the two. I think.
I like the elevator part.
Yeah, I mean they. yeah. Like it's funny. I mean, and with him talking in his head and saying certain things, it does. I guess in a live action thing, it kind of comes across as a little bit cheesy. But if he's
in his head, if like Eddie or whatever his name is like thinking something, can't Venom just hear it instead of like Eddie having to talk out loud and like creeping everybody else out? It was like, oh.
It was almost like when he was Venom, Eddie was in his head then, and it was weird. Like
I know.
It's like they kind of knew what was going on with each other, but like they still kind of didn't. But I don't. It seems like they were both kind of the underdog, and like they kind of found each other. It really is kind of like a love story. But I don't know. Like I said, there was some cheesy lines, but it was like it felt right. I mean, you would laugh at the right parts and stuff. Like it was just a good vibe, man. And Venom looked really freaking cool.
And then the doggo possessed a lady.
Yeah, there you go. The doggo possessed the lady. And that's it. But ooh. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Ooh.
The first end credit scene. Now I know you don't know who that was, or do you?
It was this curly afro hair guy, and he was the human Carnage.
He was Cletus Cassidy.
He was
Woody
in a mental
Harrelson
hospital.
Is Cletus Cassidy, and he's sitting in there, and he's oh my god!
It was like a mental hospital. He had the jacket thing on.
Yeah, it was the prison, but he was just tied up and in a straitjacket, and he wanted Eddie to come in there and interview him, and oh man, it was just cool for fans.
The way he smiled was like really creepy though. He was all like,
yeah. So, I mean, okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it?
9.
A 9. That's pretty strong. I'm glad that you liked it. Me,
unlike other people.
I don't know. Like, it teetered between like comedy sometimes and then like serious moments. I mean, it was a comic book movie, for golly's sake.
That's what like every single pretty much comic movie does.
So what I wanted out of it, I wanted fun. I wanted Venom to be angry and huge and vicious, and for him to eat and kill people. All of that happened. I wanted to the fun part. I mean, it was funny, and I think a little bit of like maybe they almost could have left like the love story part out of it, not between him and Venom, but between like there's the chick,
the Annie dude,
the Dawson's Creek chick.
Her name is Annie.
Was it Annie? Because
yeah.
I kept hearing Annie and Eddie and Annie.
I know, I couldn't tell them apart.
Yeah. So, but overall, fun. I thought Riot was pretty vicious.
Cool. He kind of looked like the snowman dude, like the huge snowman dude from Frozen, but he kills people.
He looked like the snowman dude from Frozen.
Marshmallow, you know, the big snowman dude with like, it's because the spikes on the back.
Okay.
And like he's kind of whitish.
Yeah.
Like he's more a silver color.
So did the movie work without Spider-Man for me? Yes, it worked without Spider-Man. Do I want Spider-Man to somehow be worked into that story?
Possibly.
Yes. I would love to see that, but I don't know, it's hard because you almost feel like he's a hero, which is a little odd because Venom's usually that, you know, the bad guy, but he's gone good, and
bad guy,
it's kind of the anti-hero thing. I mean, if he's still eating people, that still kind of makes him bad, doesn't it?
And then he wants to eat Stan Lee's doggo.
Yeah, but he didn't.
He almost did.
I would give it a I give it a 7.4 out of 10.
Wow, I gave it a 9.
7.4. But see, I came from the story before.
I mean, I'm only 12.
And you went into it with fresh eyes, so. And you don't like read comics and stuff like that. You go to comic book movies. You and I together You had a 9, I had a 7.4, so I'd say we have at least a solid 8.1 between both of us. Maybe it's just because it's fresh. I'll have to watch it again to see if I
missed everything.
Yeah, just to see if it's still like.
I heard somebody's
hits
phone.
me.
I heard somebody's phone go off, and then they turned it off immediately. Nobody reacted except for me. I like did this.
That's what she does.
They probably didn't
She's got that
see
eye roll thing from her mother. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So Venom, 2 thumbs up.
Ow!
I'll break it.
My thumb bends back, but not that far.
So many snacks, so little time. Bye.